Hello everyone, myself Ayushi Avasthi and today I am here to present my seminar topic which is haptic technology. The contents that I will cover in this presentation includes the introduction of the topic, its history and working, the different types of force rendering algorithms, the types of haptic devices, their advantages, disadvantages and the future vision of this technology. So firstly, what is haptic technology? The word haptic means pertaining to the sense of touch. Haptic communication recreates the sense of touch by applying forces, vibrations or motions to the user. This mechanical stimulation may be used to assist in the creation of virtual objects and to enhance the remote control of the machines and devices. Haptic technology is a way for a human user to interact with the computer or other haptic device and have that device display information back into the real world. Haptic technology has made it possible to investigate how the human sense of touch works by allowing the creation of carefully controlled haptic virtual devices. It provides the user with 22 kinds of touch sensations. This emerging technology promises to have wide reaching applications as it already has in some fields. These new tools contribute to our understanding of how touch and its underlying brain functions work. By using haptic devices, the user can not only feed information to the computer but can also receive information from the computer in the form of a felt sensation on some part of the body. Now, about the brief history of the haptics. So, in the early 20th century, the scientists introduced the word haptic to label the subfield of their studies that addressed human touch based perception and manipulation. In the 1970s and 1980s, robotics began to focus on manipulation and perception by touch. The ones that aspire to create devices inspired by human abilities found great interest in topics such as sensory design and processing, grasp control and manipulation, object representation, and haptic information encoding for describing the physical task. In the early 1990s, a new usage of the word haptic began to emerge. Computer haptic technology became possible, which enables the display of stimulated objects to human in an interactive manner. Next is the working of haptics. Basically, a haptic system consists of two parts, namely the human part and the machine part. So, in the figure, the human part, that is the left one, senses and controls the position of the hand, while the machine part, that is the right one, exerts forces from the hand to stimulate contact with the virtual object. Also, both the systems will be provided with necessary sensors, processors, and actuators. In the case of human system, nerve receptors perform sensing, brain performs processing, and muscles perform actuation of the motion. While in the case of the machine system, the above mentioned functions are performed by the encoders, computer, and motors respectively. The next is the haptic information. The haptic information provided by the system is the combination of tactile information and kinesthetic information. Tactile information refers to the information acquired by the sensors which are actually connected to the skin of the human body with a particular reference to the spatial distribution of pressure across the contact area. And the kinesthetic information refers to the information acquired through the sensors in the joints. Interaction forces are normally perceived through a combination of these two informations. Now, the haptic devices. A haptic device is the one that provides a physical interface between the user and the virtual environment by means of a computer. This can be done through an input-output device that senses the body's movement, such as joystick or data glove, By using haptic devices, the user can not only feed information to the computer but can also receive information from the computer in the form of a felt sensation on some part of the body. These devices can be broadly classified into virtual reality devices, which include exoskeletons, and stationary devices, which are immobile systems that user attached to him or her, gloves and wearable devices, and the locomotion interfaces. The second one is the feedback devices, which include force feedback devices, which are designed to apply forces to stimulate the sensation of weight and resistance in order to provide information to the user, and the tactile devices that applies sensation to the skin. The commonly used haptic interfacing devices are Phantom, which is used for providing a 3D touch to the virtual objects, and the Cyber Glove for recreating the forces applied by the object on the human hand. The next is the principle of haptic interface. The haptic interaction occurs at an interaction tool of a haptic interface that mechanically couples two dynamical systems, the haptic interface with the computer and the human user with the central nervous system. The two systems are exactly symmetrical in structure and information, and they sense the environments, make decisions about the control actions, and provide mechanical energies to the interaction tool through motions. The characteristics commonly considered desirable for haptic interfaces are: the first one is low back drive inertia and friction. The next is minimal constraints on motion imposed by the device kinematics, so free motion feels free. Symmetric inertia, friction, stiffness, and resonant frequency properties, thereby regularizing the device so users don't have to unconsciously compensate for parasitic forces. The balance, range, resolution, and bandwidth of the position sensing and force reflection. This is the system architecture for haptic rendering. Haptic rendering algorithms compute the correct interaction forces between the haptic interface representation inside the virtual environment and the virtual objects populating the environment. Moreover, haptic rendering algorithms ensure that the haptic device correctly renders such forces on the human operator. Several components compose typical haptic rendering algorithms. The three main blocks of the haptic rendering algorithm shown in the figure are collision detection algorithms, which detect the collisions between the object and avatars in the virtual environment and yield information about where, when, and ideally to what extent collisions have occurred. The next is the force response algorithms. It computes the interaction forces between avatars and virtual objects when a collision is detected. The third one is control algorithms. This command the haptic device in such a way that minimizes the error between the ideal and applicable forces. A typical haptic loop consists of the following sequence of events. Low-level control algorithms sample the position sensor at the haptic interface device joints. The control algorithms combine the information collected from each sensors to obtain the position of the device body interface in space. The collision detection algorithm uses position information to find collisions between the objects and avatars and report the resulting degree of penetration. The force response algorithm computes interaction forces between avatars and virtual objects involved in a collision. The force response algorithms send interaction forces to the control algorithms, which apply them on the operator through the haptic device while maintaining a stable overall behavior. Now, some of the applications of the haptic technology. The first one is graphical user interface. So, the video game makers have been early adopters of passive haptics, which take advantage of joysticks, controllers, and steering wheels to reinforce on screen activity. But future video games will enable players to feel and manipulate virtual solids, fluids, tools, and avatars. The second one is the military training in virtual environment. Along with the entertainment industry, the military is responsible for the most dramatic evolutionary leaps in the VR field. The virtual environment work well in military applications. When well designed, they provide the user with an accurate simulation of real events in a safe and controlled environment. Specialized military training can be very expensive, particularly for vehicle pilots, so there they can use this technology. Some training procedures have an element of danger when using real situation, so in that case also this technology can be used. The third one is the surgical simulation and medical training. So various haptic interfaces for medical simulation may also prove useful, especially for training of minimally invasive procedures and remote surgery using the teleoperators. The fourth one is telerobotics. In a telerobotic system, a human operator controls the movement of a robot that is located at some distance. Some teleported robots are limited to very simple tasks such as aiming a camera and sending back the visual images, while haptics now make it possible to include touch in addition to audio and visual in telepresence models. The next application is the creation of an virtual reality environment. An avatar is the virtual representation of the haptic through which the user physically interact with the virtual environment. Clearly, the choice of avatar depends on what being simulated and on the haptic device's capabilities. The operator controls the avatar's position inside the virtual environment. Contact between the interface avatar and the virtual environment sets off action and reaction forces. The avatar's geometry and the type of contact and support regulate these forces. Within a given application, the user might choose among different avatars. This is the block diagram of haptic feedback. Virtual reality applications strive to stimulate real or imaginary scenes with which users can interact and perceive the effects of their actions in real time. Ideally, the user interacts with the simulation via all the five senses. However, today, typical VR applications rely on a smaller subset, typically vision, hearing, and more recently the touch. This block diagram shows the structure of a VR application incorporating visual, auditory, and haptic feedback. The application's main elements are the simulation engine, which is responsible for computing the virtual environments, the visual, auditory, and haptic rendering algorithms, which compute the virtual behavior over time, and also the environment's graphics, sound, and force, which are responses toward the user. The third is the transducer, which convert visual, audio, and force signals from the computer into a form the operator can perceive. Now, some of the advantages of this technology are: the first one is digital world can behave like the real world. The working time is reduced. Medical field simulators allow surgeons to practice digitally. It is easy to use and access. With haptic technology, the hardware and software designer can feel the result as if he were handling physical objects. Now, some of the disadvantages of this technology are: high cost is involved in this technology. Large weight and size of the haptic device make it very difficult to move the devices. Output is not saturate. The precision of the touch requires a lot of advanced design. The haptic applications also require highly specialization. The hardware and considerable processing power is also complex. It also has some debugging issues. At last, the future vision of this technology. As haptics moves beyond the buzzes and thumbs of today's video games, technology will enable increasingly believable and complex physical interaction with virtual or remote objects. It's not unreasonable to expect that future advancements in haptics will have equally deep effects. Developers in this space are essentially on the ground floor of advanced technology. Though the field is still in its infancy, hints of vast, unexplored intellectual and commercial territory add excitement and energy to a growing number of courses and invention efforts such as the holographic interaction, medical application, textile industry, smartphones and smartwatches, and many more. So, thank you.